Okay. I think we're live. Right, what's the title of this one? Making things work. No, I don't know. That's right. Test. Test. Build it. We need tests. Building out tests. That's what we want. Right. Today is the day for tests. No, I'm the sort of person who... Okay. I'm the sort of person who wants to do TDD. That's what I would do if I could do that easily. But I have no idea when it comes to JavaScript how to get this mixture of tests that run in NPM, tests that run in the browser, what test frameworks there are. I long for the ease of PyTest. So I think like 3JS, I use it extensively in this project. There's got to be a good way that they do it, and if I can copy that. They're using Mocha, other people are using Jest. Maybe Mocha's the way to go. Mocha is a feature-rich JavaScript test framework running Node.js and in the browser, making asynchronous testing simple and fun. Mocha tests run serially, allowing for flexible and accurate reporting while mapping uncalled exceptions to the correct test cases. It's hosted on GitHub. It's got backers, it's got features, it's got a table of contents. Okay. Well, let's go along with this. We've got a get started guide and all of that. So let's have a look what our testing thing will be. I imagine Mocha. Okay, so I'm going to put Mocha. Keywords. Well, I don't want this to be public, so yeah, let's go with that. So we have a package.json. Where do we go from a package.json? Okay, so npm install save dev mocha. Error. This is one of the things I don't like about npm is like, why has all of that failed? I don't understand. Integrity. And then it's talking about fun. It says it's added something, so I guess it's added something. Okay, getting started. I've just done an npm install. I don't know what our node version is. 10. Right, that's probably what caused all the errors. How do we do that then? Upgrade node. How to upgrade node? There's a Stack Overflow post that's got to be copying and pasting sudo commands from the internet. It's not insecure at all. Oh, what's it going to do? Okay, let's give it a go. Node still shows the old one. I'll either go... We'll just do that. That's not going to fix it. Ah, I'm sorry. Ah! I can't believe that actually fixed it. Oh, there we go. Right, so now we're running a different version of Node, so maybe our npm will do something different now. Old lock files. Old version. It's a one-time fix. Does that mean it's fixed it? Let's try again. Ah! Well, that looks unerroneous. So, I'll go with that. Okay, so we got it. It's installed. I want to make a directory test. Okay, I'm making a test directory. We want to open test.js. What do we got? JS package, vim test, and then what did I actually want? I wanted test.js. Not the most informative name. Okay, and then we want this. The setting paste means that it won't mess up from thinking that those are maybe commands that I've mapped, like JJ, which I've mapped to escape to make it easy. How do I go into this? Still says I've got a viewer. So, I mean, if there's somebody watching, welcome to the show. Probably going to be streaming next couple of hours, maybe. It'll stop when either I get too tired or my fiance comes home from her work trip. I imagine me starting to fall asleep is going to come first. So, we have asserted assert, and we've got this. Right, I think the next step is going to be to get this test running. So back in the terminal, and it wants us to do that. Oh, well, I don't know about that. That doesn't... Well, that's a bit off, doesn't it? I don't want to be typing that in every time I want to run a test. I also don't have a node modules. I do, but not. So I wonder if I list, I have my node modules in there. Okay. Then can we run it from there? No. It's never as simple as they make it out to be, is it? Okay, where have I gone wrong? Maybe I needed to do that. Nope. Well, what's in this node modules then? We don't have mocha. We do have mocha. That has a bin. And that has a mocha in it. Why has it got an underscore? No test files found. Maybe I run mocha.js to run this with npm. No, npm's the package manager. Hang on. npm is to pip, node is to python. So we'll type in node. And it says no test files found. So we do npm test. So it runs it, but it hasn't found the files. In here, no, that's the right version. No, there's definitely a test folder there. Module glob. Let's try to save a glob. If only global warming was that easy. Nope, still glob. This is what I hate about developing in JavaScript. I'm fond of JavaScript, but find module glob. What did they say here? Try reinstalling npm. Let's try and do something where we restart this. Remove node modules. And then do npm install mocha. Now what we got? Now we got our node modules. Mocha. Still nothing. Installation. I wonder if, now that I've only got one follower, 3 people have followed me. I wonder if that's relevant at all. Not to Node not working, of course, but might be relevant to something. Okay. Getting a mocha test working from scratch. npm init. Maybe I should have done that. npm. No, I have done that. Okay, I did do that. Why? Oh, that'd be what. Oh, I can't believe that's why. Oh, you're kidding me. I went through all of that. Oh my, oh my goodness. Oh my god. What ridiculous nature. Okay. So now we have a test running. We have this require architecture. Okay, so we've got that. Well, let's try porting something across. I think that would be a good idea. So let's say do the rest of the structuring. So, how to structure a node package. About packages and modules, we want a folder containing a program described by the package file. Modules are done with require requests. Okay. What did I Google to get to there? Node package directories. Folder structure, here we go. Okay. Concerning the folders you mentioned, libs is usually used for custom classes, function modules, specs, vendor support. Models contains ORM models, schemas in Mongoose, views, public controllers, app contains your compiled JavaScript, source contains your server-side specific CoffeeScript files. Interesting. CoffeeScript rings a bell. CoffeeScript. CoffeeScript is a programming language that compiles to JavaScript, adds semantic sugar inspired by Ruby, Python, and Haskell in order to enhance JavaScript's brevity and readability. Adds additional features include list comprehension and destructuring assignment. Oh, interesting. I remember CoffeeScript from a while back. Views, express your views. Okay, right. Test contains the unit tests for a testing specific framework. Okay. Not sure I understand what's going on with that. Let's go back to the example of 3JS. So they've put, what have they got? They've got package JSON, package lock, got the README, they've got the license. Oh, what is in the license actually? Copyright 3JS permission is hereby granted free of charge for any person obtaining a copy of this software and associated files to deal in the software without restriction, including without limitation to the rights to use or sell copies of the software, and permit persons to whom the software is furnished to do so, subject to the following conditions. The shall be included in all copies and substantial portions of the software. Software is provided as is and without any... Okay, well that's quite a liberal license, so I'm quite happy with that. Utils. What's in utils? Build. Roll up and config and... Oh, so they're using Babel to get things together. So and then in the files, what's in files? SVGs and stuff. Manual. I don't know what these are. Third party Monaco editor. English. I guess that's for the actual manual as like a website. Examples, file. Is that not what I just went into? No, files was that weird thing. Docs. Build is obviously builds of it. Editor. Docs examples JS. That's interesting. Examples of 3 add-ons. Don't know what that is. Okay, but I don't think it's part of it. So I think we've got the source, where we've got 3 legacy warnings cleanup, 3 JS, and is that the stupidly long compiled version? Ah, that's interesting. So what this seems to do is just export what's in the others, a bit like using the init of a Python module. So in the math object, okay. So then test, we do install test dependencies from the root folder. For unit tests, we then run the unit test from the root folder, or we run npm start to access that. Oh, interesting. How to run things locally. Okay. So if you've just joined me, I'm building a game in the browser using Three.js as a library, and I'm covering the development of that. The game is visible. You can go and play it. It's at manicvoxels.com. This evening what I'm trying to do is build up a testing framework so that I can speed up my development and get back to a test-driven development, which is a flow that I much prefer. But for the time being, what I've been doing is doing somewhat a test-driven development, just without automated unit tests. It's been a matter of writing some JavaScript and coming back here to run it. One of the problems I have is that I can get the JavaScript to run in the browser because I've been doing that for decades, but to get JavaScript to run in Node is a different kettle of fish that I've so far struggled with. So I think I've got this running, and I think if I've got that running, what I now want to do is try and move some of the maths modules or copy the maths modules into this package, and then hopefully later on I'll use, I think it's Babel, to try and transpile node worthy JavaScript over into browser JavaScript, and maybe it'll put it in one file so that the number of requests to the server is lower, something like that. So let's go into where we're currently storing our JavaScript, which is in here, and look for something that'll be easy to start writing unit tests for. That works. So if I then go back to here, I can do create a maths.js, paste that in, and then if I do var math equals require. See, this is the other one. How do I require a file rather than a module? Not sure yet. Math. What do I call it? Maths. Proper. Oh, one person has dropped off. Okay, so I want to describe maths, or describing the floor function. So we have a function, describe Oh, interesting. So describe arrays, talking about arrays, and then what we want to do is it, I guess. And I want to say, I see. So it should floor the number. Okay, so I imagine where this is going to go is we're not going to be able to. Oh no, it's just an unexpected token. Because we are a function here, so. Okay, we've got that. Cannot find maths. There we go. So now. To include the require. Oh, my internet's slowing down. So I want to require. In browser, JavaScript added the script element when they execute. In Node, each module has its own scope. Module cannot directly access the things defined in other modules unless they're exported. It loads the PG module. But how do I import from something that's local? I don't understand this. It's very confusing. You have nowhere defined function require, which is used to get modules. JS modules require export module without them ever being defined. So require.cache window is the object fs used here. Export module.exports. Module name path to specific unexported file. Interesting. So this module, if we're saying the main JS package maybe that does something to improve our state of things. Cannot find module still. God, this person really went all out on this answer. for those who have just joined us, I'm making a game, manicvoxels.com. It's going to be a voxel-based, like cubes, in the browser. You simply go to the website and you start playing. That's already live. What I'm trying to do now is create a set of unit tests so that I can go back to doing test-driven development. What I'm very specifically doing now is trying to work out how to use the require to get my little maths module imported into my test. If you know, please comment. I can get these other modules, but I just can't get the file. Cannot find module. Path is relative to the directory in which you're acquiring the files, so it should be something like // Oh, ... because... Hey! And now we're getting the unexpected export because in whichever version it is that runs on the server, they don't like that. So instead you have to export in a different way, which I'm going to go to the other one, where he talked more about it somewhere down here. Somebody was talking about these things not being specifically exported or having to do the module definition at the end. Now, instead of saying module.exports, you can say module exports like this. So let's give that a go. Alright, what is this module export? Floor and mod. Oh, that person has that comma. I really don't like that. Commas should go there. Why? Why would you? There's something, I think it's in Java. It's a Java, not that it's relevant because it's just a white space thing, but yeah, I don't like that. I will replace it so I've got commas at the end, always. So now we're not going to do the export there. Hey! We got a test running. Which is really cool. And I'm very happy with that. But now, how do we get more working? So we've got a test working. But this now, does the module exports... Export keyword, modules, public API, system. Register format was designed to support with ES5. The universal module definition format can be used in both browser and Node. What is the universal module definition format? For example, preceding greeter. Okay. This repository formalizes the design and implementation of the UMD API for JavaScript modules. These are modules which are capable of working everywhere, be it in the client, on the server, or elsewhere. Browserify in the universe. How I learned to stop worrying and love the Browserify. Defining a module is really simple, but like all things, none of us can agree on just one. While this is generally true for all communities, it's essentially erratic in the JavaScript community, especially erratic in the JavaScript community. It's not really JavaScript's fault though. It's not easy being extremely flexible, loosely interpreted language available on just about every platform. So, okay. Type of exports is typically you want your module to be easily consumed by all the users of the module definition, so your prudent module author will opt for the universal module definition. Yes, that works, but you're an awesome module author for taking that extra step, making your module universal, but let's be honest, that's a mess. Don't want to include that in all of my modules. Harmony is on the horizon and includes a module definition. Import from the export function. Alright, we're done, or are we? Seems like it technically doesn't exist yet. ES6 is here, but so this definition isn't. ES6 isn't here yet, so it's not an option at the moment. It will be a while before this option is available in Node.js and the browsers, even longer until we can safely use it universally. Think about Internet Explorer. Stop worrying and use a build tool. Pick whatever module definition you like, then transform the modules as you build. What about those who don't want to use build tools? Too bad for them. Think about the audience you're catering to. They're copying and pasting your modules into files, adding a bunch of script tags to their page. Those users should have no problem also modifying your module to fit their needs, if anything. By not catering to that use case, you're doing them a favour and pushing them to a better workflow. Browserify. Browserify is a great tool for this. The transform, it enables you to consume any module. So with npm install Browserify. CommonJS. Global variables, ES6. What about Harmony? Yep. Not using a transform decomponent Browserify. Integration with Grunt. I doubt all of us will ever agree on a single module definition. So, I wonder, I can use Browserify to go towards ES6. Can I use it to go the other way? Oh. Browsers don't have the require method defined, but Node.js does. With Browserify, you can write code that uses the require in the same way you would with Node. Here is a tutorial on how to use it. I wonder if you can write ES6 imports and convert them to Node. Imports directly. If we try and use the import module directly in Node.js, it'll throw out the error. Is there a way? For example, if we try and import the Express module, throw the error as follows. There's experimental support for ES modules. To enable them, we need to make some changes to the package.json file. The package.json file, add the type module. Adding this enables ES6 modules in the package.json file. Should look like this. index file. And write the program using ES. Thanks. Yeah. So the issue I'm having is trying to get it running for Node. So the way that it's running at the moment is to have all of the modules currently running using an ES6 import, but I'm trying to get for the unit tests is I'm trying to get it working for the unit tests, which is where I'm coming up against trying to get Node to allow for those imports. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's one of the issues with JavaScript stuff is there's so much that changes, and the articles all go up and stay there. Well, that's not the error I expected from having those. So oh, so is it that because now that I've defined it as as the type module, the imports in this form are now not working? I still don't know how to do that one though. Interesting. Okay, so that is actually working now, in a not quite working kind of way. If I have this. Oh, this is... Rolf WR, you have saved me so much time by pointing all this out. That is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And that's because... Thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you for your kindness. This is wonderful. I'm so excited. Right, so I have... So I could put the tests where they were. Where all the files were, and just start testing. Oh, this is brilliant. I've got to try and think what to do with the structure now, because I've got the files being delivered to the browser by the Flask server, and so they're all just in... I wonder if, for now, I just symlink that. Yeah, I mean, when it's taken me a while to get to the ES6 imports in this project, because before I was working on a space game before, and this is about 8 years ago now, and back then I just wrote, the server was in PHP, and I just wrote a PHP script that would gather all of the JavaScript files I'd written together and serve that as a single JavaScript file, and I'd import that file using a script tag. And I've been thinking over the time, I haven't done too much JavaScript development since, but I've been thinking there must be a better way. There must be a better way. Now we've got more to play with in here. maybe I make this, because I was thinking of having a new structure for these files anyway, because it's getting to the point where there's enough of them to warrant some more structure. So I'm thinking maybe now is a good time to break it up into different things, like what's creating the terrain generation, what's a helper function. Or I could leave it and just start writing tests, which is a really exciting prospect. Okay, I don't need to do that. I really should have put a comment there as to why that mod is different. Oh, I think that's to do with it being positive. Export. Negative mods should be positive. Mod negative 13 and 3 is 9, 12, 1. 1. Oh, because minus 13. That's the wrong one. So I was just being stupid. Okay. Okay, what's a good one to start testing for? So the reason that I picked this point in the development to really go right, no matter how long it takes, and without your help it would take a lot longer. I need to start writing tests because I was struggling with the terrain generation. It was getting complicated enough that I wanted to really start picking out some points and being able to, rather than creating some change to the terrain generation and then going for a walk in the game, actually like pushing forward and saying what I wanted from it. But there's a lot else here that could be made better. Right, generation rules. With the test files, is it just that they're in the test folder, or do they need to also be prefixed with test or something, like PyTest? I want to do test generation rules to import cert from, then import. Okay, so we've got a function for tree. Oh, this is a mess. I want to break this out a bit more. Ah, perfect, okay. don't think I use this display face function anymore, because once I got the greedy meshing working, now that's a perfect one for this. Greedy mesh. I actually even have some tests here from before I got the testing framework working, so they can just be moved across. Let's leave that as a stop for now. Nice. I think I'll have definitely a folder named test, and then probably align that to be the same structure as the rest of the module, so that if you know where you are in the module, you've got an accompanying test file to jump straight to. What have we got here? Is that one a test? I'd forgotten I wrote test for that. So I'm going to convert this. Port set from copy this pattern so I can see it. Describe. Actually, is there just have the array one? The purpose of the nested describe is that just to create more of a structure in how the tests are arranged. So in the mocha testing example, it's a array and then describe index of, and then you've got a particular it. I guess that's just for structuring purposes. I mean, it doesn't. Does anything else change apart from the way it prints it out for having the index of nested in array? Nice. Okay, that's an interesting one as well. Yeah. rectangle the size of the face if all cells are faced. Okay, and then that is a function which wants to deal with this stuff. Don't need that logging, but I want to assert equal the width 15. Does it allow for a message at the end? Yes, it does. Okay, these one. Hang on. What? Oh, yeah, because double negative. Always very confusing. These are asserting what we want to happen. These ones are asserting what we don't want to happen. Okay. It should not construct a face. It should not construct a face if we start somewhere that isn't a face. I feel like those, it's not so much that it's incorrect, it's like it just shouldn't be a height. It's not that the width and height are incorrect there, although they kind of are. It's more that they're, I don't know. Interesting, so this is kind of like a bit of what you'd said with the setup, because this second test, third test down is using the y equals 5 as like having a strip of what should be a face in the middle, but instead of starting in the top left, we're starting where we should be finding a face. But for now, duplication is simpler, for me at least. face wider when there is a gap between the two sides of the full face of this chunk. So then we want to finish off that function call, and then that whole describe can be wrapped in that. And then we can describe the get of a face. What's this first one? This first one. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I'm using the stringify to simply test the components in the array. Okay. Should return a face starting in the top left and ending in the bottom right. Face, full face. So that's for the full face, that's every side of that chunk needs to be displayed. And now for, there's two faces. Two faces either side of y equals 5. Okay, and then again we're using the JSON stringify to do the comparison. First face cracked. The second face. that's the end of that one. Close that one off. What's this next one? Oh, you have been an absolute saint this stream, Rolf WR. That is wonderful. Thank you so much. Deep equal. Okay, we've got. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write a macro to convert them all over rather than doing them one by one to the deep equal, because I do want to use that because that sounds much better than what I'm currently doing. But I've got to get rid of all this stringify anyway, so try and do that all at once. This one should return the single face that exists at y equals 5. What have I done with this one? X is 0, y is 0, z is 0, or x is 16, y is 16, or z is 16. Is that? Can't be of the same function. Oh, this is testing the conversion of the is faced. Right, let's write this macro. Okay, so recording Q. Hit 0 to get to the beginning. The equal becomes deep equal. The why not? Why did it not? Okay, it did. And we'll go forward to JSON, go 2 forward, go to the next close, do that, to the next JSON, okay, that, next one of those, do that, stop recording Q. See if that works. It's never going to work. Can we? Where did I go wrong? Equals deep equal. From there it worked. But I didn't do the 0 search. There we go. Just leave that macro there for if I need it later. So, now this one was more complicated. What were we doing with this one? I think what I was trying to do here is create the 3D is-faced function rather than the 2D ones, and then try and get that to map to have, we've got this face function that is dependent on the Y and Z and converts it to the others. Okay, so I think that's more representative of what I would be doing elsewhere. But for now, it is confusing. Something to do with something. Log, but then we're going to do a deeper search. I'm going to run my Q macro on it. I do love the macros in Vim. I feel that you get macros elsewhere, but because in Vim you are so encouraged to do everything with a keystroke, that if you can get your keystrokes to be more semantic, you know, jump to the search query of this rather than I'm going to click here because I know what it is, it makes it easier to write macros that sort of work a bit better, and they're more intuitive because they're the keystrokes you're pressing to get the job done anyway, rather than clicking somewhere to sort of go, oh, I want this piece in this line to do this. Although I think that's one of the first times I've successfully done like a quick edit on the macro that I've recorded and then run it, and it's worked really well. I'm going to chuck that somewhere. I don't know where to chuck it. We'll leave it there for now. Are there any others? Oh, there's no others. It's not worth keeping. Okay. Where are we up to? Testing get the mesh. I thought this one was testing get the mesh. Oh no, it's testing get the face. This is testing getting the mesh. So this is where the is-faced function from the last of the tests. So getting a face from the 3D is faced function rather than a contrived one. So then how are we checking this? Classic. Let's just have a look at the length of the vertices. Well, let's sketch out what we want from this test. We want it to produce sensible length of verses. That. Then I don't know, I think it was like 80 something. Should be able to calculate that, but I'll leave that for now. That doesn't look right. Staring at equal too long. It's looking like it's spelt wrong. So this other one is a second test, so I can close off that first. You might be interested to know that I am coding this up, and the screen that I'm using is one that I built myself. I deconstructed a standard Dell screen, took the LCD panel, separated the LCD panel to be, 10 centimeters on this? It's almost 10 centimeters away from the original back panel, and then instead of standard LED backlighting, what I've done is I have got it's 4 20-watt LED panels behind it, and then I've wired it all up, and it actually works. I mean, it looks very homemade, but it's incredible. The brightness, which very much is not needed in this dark room at night time, is when there's sunshine directly on the screen, you can still see it because it's just that much brighter than a standard screen, and I really like it. It just, all of the colors of everything on the terminal just pop that much more, and it just helps my brain stay focused. It's really lovely. What changes between these two tests? Here we're returning 5. Extra activation. I mean, when I tapped, oh my god. If I'm not oh, did the stream just go down? No, reconnection. There we go. I don't know if you saw that. I did just tab to here, and I'd been staring at the dark terminal for long enough that it did actually give me a bit of a, which is quite funny. You could probably, let me have a look on the stream. Can I see it on my, how bright is it? Is it quite a big change? I mean, yeah, but see, that's the sort of change you get when you're in a dark room and you turn a screen on, like if you're, I don't know, video calling and somebody hasn't bothered turning the lights on. But I mean, I've got all the lights on in here, and they're not they're all LED lights. They're nice sized brightness. So it's just, yeah, it's an extra bit of something. We need to close off the it. Okay, test greedy mesh. So we also need to do the imports. Import. And what are we expecting to be in scope? Quite a bit. So we want at least get mesh. That's something we want. We wanted greedy rectangle. Get faces. And then was the other one just get mesh? It was, so it should just be those. And we're getting those from coming out of the test directory and then going to greedy mesh.js. Okay. Document list. I thought I had ESLint working on her. Option 8. After argument list. Let's try and split it up. No. it's a comma followed by a comma, some amount of space followed by that. No. What about colon? Ah, please tell me it was as simple as that. No. If it was as simple as that, removing that would give us a position. It does. Gives us something. And that tells us that it's in here. Okay. There. Okay, maybe not that. This one. That comma. Make mask. That's something I haven't defined. See, as faced is not defined because I don't have the start of a line. So start of a line, some amount of white space which I want to capture so that I can keep it the same, followed by is faced equals wants to be replaced with the same amount of space. Var is faced equals. Damn it, what did I go wrong here? We want to start of the line, escape, white space, star, escape, equals // equals me escaping? No. Am I in the wrong? Oh, I'm here. I didn't put the S in. What have I done with the... What did I do that for? Escaping that now, so I don't need to escape it. Yay! Greedy rectangle should not construct a face if we start somewhere that isn't a face, and we're getting mask is not defined. And that'll be because it's inside a function and wasn't before. So we're defining a mask there. And so I think should work to, yeah. I love it when that test number goes up. The mesh is not defined. Mesh. I was quite far off with the 80. $444. Okay, one failing. I've spelled equals wrong. Almost. I celebrated too early. 72. Oh, that's close to what I thought it was. Oh. Hello, LOD. Welcome. I've just got a set of tests passing. And that's a big achievement, real big achievement for me this evening, because before this evening I had no idea how to get Mocha working with Node.js running in the terminal rather than running tests in the browser. And I've just completed a set of test functions that I'd written just as spare functions to run up in the browser, and now they're working. And yeah, I have to thank Rolf WR for that, because you've been incredibly helpful. I think I've got to commit some of this. Right, okay, so there's a little, if I do get status instead. So if I JS package probably isn't the best name for that, but at this level of the directory we now don't need package lock. else do we not need? Node modules. Node. I think it's global now. Well, we'll find out if that messes anything up. And then we have JS package. So then to make this continue to work, I need to, I think, symlink the JS directory that I did have to the JS directory that I now have all the code in. Yeah, I need to think about that because I don't want to just, because at the moment anything that's in that folder, the Flask server will serve if asked. That might not be good for the other JavaScript based stuff that I've got in the package, because now that that's running Node, oh, it's not like somebody could put code there. It's just a pull rather than a put to, but there might be some issues with that. I keep seeing that folder, the geology. It's a joke from school that I don't even remember what the joke was now. But I am excited to get geology in this game. I've already got the folding of different geological layers. That's in the game. But at the moment they're just different coloured stone and they don't actually mean anything. I'm excited to get the composition working, which is like taking, I don't know, a plank of wood and a stone and making a plank of wood with stone, sort of thing. I've got an idea for that. I have been working on that. I've had to move that from a relational database to a graph database because I've realised that the structure is too freeform. So I had a structure in mind, and that was done in the relational database, but it's the whole having some number of ingredients, some number of tools, making some number of products created, I think. I mean, there's not going to be much in that, but I think if it does grow, having those joins rather than what it naturally is, which is a recipe is represented by the links to that recipe, which are of link, ingredient, etc. So I need to build that out into a graph database. So I've been putting that off. So I wanted to do more of this, and getting these tests working is really the first start to being able to get more of the landscape working, and go back to getting the rivers working because they've stopped working. And I've now got a big post-it note that says "Find the river," which my fiance found very amusing because she was like, "It's your game. What do you mean you can't find the river?" Okay, so now we must have a git ignore. Do we have anything called, or what is it called that we're trying to forget? We're trying to forget node modules. If I call it node that should work. Okay, so let's see, does that work? If I cd into JS package, where do you get status? I get just the current directory. Let's git add. That's picked up most of them. If I git add the rest of the ones that it has tracked, it It doesn't think that I've moved package, lock and package, but it does recognize everything else is moved. I don't think I'd committed chunk thread manager anyway. What are the other new files? Remove. There's something to import. What branch are we on? Find the river. Lots of white space to trim, I imagine. Okay. Well, the headline is clearly building out tests. But also where the test can be run in Node with mocha. I find commit messages difficult. It's something that I'm very poor at. Just the time when it arises to do a nice commit message, I've either forgotten half the stuff that I've committed because I have a short memory, or I don't know. It's just I'm at the end of my tether because I've just managed to finally get something working. And I was like, oh, now I've got to talk about it today. Maybe now I've got to talk about it as if I'm not talking on a stream. Okay. So we've got those tests passing. Now, what were the tests I actually wanted to get done? That was something I need to think about. There was a particular test file in the generation. Just trying to work out. So I did say at the beginning of this stream, I'm not sure whether I will be able to stay awake longer or whether I'll be able to stay awake long enough for my fiance to finally get home from a work trip. And I'm just texting, and we're just trying to find out when is she getting back. When's the bus? And she's not sure if the bus leaves at 1 a.m. or gets in at 1 a.m. And so she wants the Netflix account. Let's see if I can share that with her. Okay. Shared that with her. Obviously I didn't text her the password. Could be a bit more secure than that. Using one password. Not sponsored, of course. Who's going to sponsor this? Come on. I think I've got 3 people watching at one point though. I mean that's worth a sponsor surely. Right. So at the moment, the terrain generation is pretty simple. We've got some summation over Perlin noise at different levels. And then on top of that, if we go below 5, we put water there. And if we are equal to 5, it's going to be sand all the way. So if the surface at the time of generation, so this before any edits have happened, is equal to y equals 5, all of the blocks below it to infinity are sand. Yeah. Oh, I'm starting to get sleepy now. I did do a coding interview earlier. That took far too long. Just trying to be perfect with it, which I don't have to do here. But yeah, it's been a long day. Okay, so we've added this. We've got this structures added as well. So if those structures are there, then they might take over and tell us what this cell should be. I have to say, I'm getting to a point where I'm really starting to struggle. Yeah, apparently it's the wrong password anyway. I wonder if I can share the stream with her. She can watch me code. There's got to be a button in here. Maybe that worked. Maybe we've got some more viewers now. Okay, so I want to create some tests for the terrain generation, but where are we with the terrain generation? Wasn't terrain tools? This is a module that creates some nice diagrams. Creates this kind of pattern, and this is the map. So this is the map of the terrain generation. The different colors mean different things. So on the right you've got this colorful graph which is like the different geological layers. I was talking about that earlier. If I untick that, then it actually generates those geological layers, and we can see by going to different locations you get your different geologies. If you wanted your blue geology, well, you're not going to get it over here, but if you go up to this point, how would you get there from the coast? I'm sure this river goes to the coast. And maybe you pop up here. Something like that. Anyway. Got a nice complex structure of... I think these are swamps. And I think these are supposed to be mountain ranges. I need to check that, but... I think they're supposed to be so high that they're beyond the tree layer. But then I never did anything in terms of like... I haven't got a diagram here for the topology, so I don't know how high the rest of it is. I mean, you've got this river going through a mountain range. I mean, I don't like that. What else we got? The rectangles are cities. The blue lines being the rivers between cities, because this is based on something from Nathan Taleb, where he talked about retrospective determinism, which is that rather than coming up with, rather than actually having a deterministic explanation for an event in such a manner that you could predict a priori when it was going to happen or if it was going to happen, you create something that is a great story and sounds very logical after the fact to explain the event, even though your explanation would have no predictive power. And so I've taken that concept and I've turned it round, and so here, rather than saying, oh, well, why is that city where it is? Oh, well, it's there because there's a river. Why not turn that round and go, oh, why is there a river there? Oh, because the city's there. You know, the correlation. Oh, the city's there because there's a river. But actually, in the terrain generation, the river's there because of the city. And then I could just place the cities randomly, and actually they're on grid marks, but because of the way they are in their population, it's a power law distribution. So there's like a even chance of the next city dominating the total population of the list of cities you've gone through already. And that means you end up with this, what looks like almost, it's not quite, you can point out the issues, but on the ground you wouldn't be able to notice. You've got these tributaries going into bigger streams, and if you're actually walking around the world, you wouldn't be able to notice that. Well, maybe you'd be able to notice if you're going up a mountain and all of a sudden there's a river that is flowing the wrong way, but then there's not flow yet in the rivers, so who knows. But yeah, so that's what there's a lot of that in here, but this also imports where the cities are from the city module, and the height map and the geology from the terrain generation. So let's jump into the terrain generation and see if we can make something here that works as a test. So the Perlin noise, we've got some, fortunately the Perlin noise is seeded in this implementation, so we can write a test even though there's randomness involved. Back down to one view. I bet she's turned off. Let's create a test for it. Alright, test. From... No, I want to import. I love that we've got a default dictionary implementation. I do this, I have my... if I do take a function from Stack Overflow, I reference it. And there's two parts for that. Like, one is being humble in that I haven't come up with this. But the other one is that when somebody comes along and questions, perhaps after I've left the company or perhaps I'm on holiday, And the question, well, why is it implemented like that? What was the reasoning behind that implementation? It's very easy to go to that link and see what were the rationale, what was the rationale, what were the reasons for, you know, going and doing that. But the actually the default dictionary is a perfect thing for us. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think this is really the right place for it to be. But we can import it. And it's something that would be good to start off this testing process. Should allow keyed access. Let's create our as a new default dictionary. And let's say that. How do we use it before? Yeah, we do a function that does the thing. So it's ES6. Let's get the ES6 function definition up. Wait, what if it's an argumentless function? Oh, I think that's when you do the I think that should work. I think that should be defining a default dictionary with an integer. And then we should be able to say that the do we have to do a get, or does get work automatically? Well, let's find out. It's part of testing. Let's get the 0th element and increment it, and then say that assert that element is 1. And then what's it? Mocha. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. 3 is being where? We also have these are different now because they're not just what they were. Well, I think I'm going to have to leave this for another day. I am absolutely shattered. Thank you for staying with me on this journey tonight. manicvoxels.com. You should go to it.